Welcome to Quad Mode, round 158. This is your guide to all the worlds of video games from the Secret Friends Unite network. I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, joined by the Canadian, Mark Carabin. She has already banned any American food in his house, so we will not be eating the American versions of Skittles. Is there a Canadian version of Skittles?
No, we just have Skittles.
Oh, it's Smarties. Smarties is the one that you guys have the weird one. Yes.
Smarties.
Yes.
So that
no
would
American
be,
Smarties.
Yeah, more similar to M&Ms, although we do have M&Ms as well. But I always preferred Smarties over M&Ms.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you toss in some peanut butter M&Ms.
Okay. I like those.
Story. Whole other story.
Yeah. M&Ms have gone full on crazy with so many variations now. Used to be the core two. Yeah. And I mean, did you see Post Malone has Oreos though?
I have not seen those. What?
It looks so weird.
What is the flavor there? I need
probably cigarettes and rehab. That's what they probably taste of. Cigarettes and rehab.
I like Post Malone.
I do too. He's a cheery guy. He gets along with everybody.
Post salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream. Oh,
interesting
shenanigans! Wow. Okay. Apparently, kind of tastes like Snickerdoodles.
Interesting.
Or kettle corn. I'm just reading a little review here.
Ooh, I like kettle corn.
They sound delightful. I am going to be searching if these are available in Canada. This is interesting stuff. Very interesting. Very video game related topic to start the show off.
Yes, I was going to say just one update in the world of snacks. I think I might have mentioned this to you, but the U.S. has now Lay's has created the all-dressed American version potato chips.
I would love a comparison. Someone close to the border, grab a bag
or something.
there, grab a bag up here, or exchange program. Something.
I'll toss it across the border.
If the Snack Network's not already on this, Dave, crew, let's go. Let's make this happen. I need boots on the ground. I need taste test reviews. The world needs taste test reviews, I think.
Oh, yeah. And I will tell you, we also went off a tangent. I bought the Golden Sriracha Doritos. Those are amazing. Sweet, a little spicy. Spot on. But yeah, we're not a food podcast. I leave that to the Nerd Chat, leave it up to the Snack Network. Yeah. We talk about video games, maybe a little bit of Canadian pop culture trivia, to learn more about our neighbors to the north. And you know what? We should talk about Canada a lot more because there's not much to say about what's going on in the U.S. because nothing's going on. It's a very quiet place. So yeah,
very quiet. Quiet down there. Nothing happening. All right.
Well, who we should talk about, Mark, more is our Patreon Secret Friends Squad.
Darn tootin'. Yes, you can you can join the ranks of these amazing people over at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite, including our besties tier, Derek Trevelyan, aka the Figure Dude, Francie, the official hairstylist of SFU, Xbox Expansion Pass, and Charlie's Uncle Tim. I'm getting some really weird feedback.
Better?
Hello, check. Yep.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my mic went all the way up to all the way up for some reason, so I turned it down. Right. So I'll make a note at 427.
Yep. I'm going to start that over again because that
absolutely
weird. Yep. Ready to go? So you can join these amazing people over at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite, where you can join our besties tier, including Derek Trevelyan, aka the Figure Dude, Francie, the official hairstylist of SFU, Xbox Expansion Pass, Luke Lore, and Charlie's Uncle Tim, as well as our Friends with Benefits tier. That's John Sedorf, Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, Brendan Myers, Corey and HD, aka the Boss Rush CEO, Matthew Keel, Kurt Krug, and Tanya Lee, and our secret friends super squad, including Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias. And we have an amazing giveaway thanks to our secret friends super squad. Todd, do you want to let people know all about this giveaway?
Yes, Mark, I would. Sean is a great friend of the show. He's been a great friend of mine for over 20 years in Minnesota, and he is really excited about making sure more people check out our show. So he said, we came up with an idea. He and Henry said, let's do a giveaway. But the giveaway is to give more people more opportunities to listen to Secret Friends Unite. So he's giving away 5 annual Patreon subscriptions to the Friends with Benefits level. So basically, you'll get all of the Patreon content we have ad-free for a year, including our audio, video, podcasts. You get part of our Patreon special channel within our Discord. It's great. You get to have a hand in everything we do. And, at that point, you may be a member of a podcast. And we have our Patreon podcast community event we do every once in a while, which we probably need to do a new one soon. But yeah, all those great benefits are there. And how can you win one of these awesome subscriptions for a year? Well, all you have to do is one of 2 different things. Subscribe and comment on our YouTube videos. Basically, that is one way. The other way is rate our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So the cool part about it is it's very easy to do so because you just take a screenshot to show that you are a member, that you did rate, and then you just need to share your username. Then you can DM us on Blue Sky at Secret Friends Unite, Instagram at Secret Friends Unite, or email us at secretfriendsunite@gmail.com with a screenshot of that information, and you'll be entered. And at that point, we will be announcing the winners on Tuesday, March 4th. And once again, 5 subscription opportunities. So we're very excited to have some new patrons join us. So if you're interested or want to share the love, if you are a patron and want somebody else to join, let them know.
Yeah. And even if you've left a review before, take a new screenshot and send it to us just so we know that you're entered in that contest. It can be a review from a couple of years ago. It doesn't really matter. If you want to be entered, just let us know and show us the proof that at some point in the Earth's history, you have left us a review and or a comment or whatever. I mean, YouTube videos, there's always new stuff going on over on the Secret Friends Unite YouTube channel. So you can leave a new comment there and we'll definitely see that. But you can screenshot pretty much anything and we will see it all. Again, if you're interested in checking us out, you can get a free 7-day trial over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. And if you want to stick around, not including entering in the contest, but you can stick around for exclusive shows, no ads, Discord benefits, and everything else Todd mentioned for as little as $2 a month.
And by the way, we won't be putting tariffs on this show, so there will be no cost to you. So with that, we go to the segment of the show that I think we're most famous for, and that's buy, rent, and return. Mark, I'm doing console reveals. So basically, Don't think about the E3 event unless this is the only time you saw this console reveal. We're talking about the wacky, the weird ways that people have revealed a console. I mean, one that I would think of was think about Xbox Series X. The first time that was revealed was at the Game Awards. It's very weird. Just a very weird way to do that. We had the original Switch, which I would say you could choose one of 2. You could have the video they showed, or you could have that odd Japanese event, which was just very weird, where they spent way too long on ARMS and way too long on HD Rumble. Very odd, very Japanese. So we had the PS4, which actually had a standalone event just basically in January before E3, anything like that. It revealed the PlayStation. We had the Switch reveal, like I said, one of those 2 reveals if you wanted to use that. And then we had the Xbox 360, which, if you don't remember, was on MTV. Jay Allard was there, talked about Velocity Girls selling things on Xbox Marketplace. Very chill and relaxed. There were celebrities on that thing. It was a very unique take because Xbox was launching ahead of PlayStation and what would become the Wii. And they really had a unique take on it. So, Mark, and I can give you a little more details if you don't remember the weird 360 launch or reveal or the PlayStation reveal.
I remember the PlayStation reveal way more than the Xbox 360 one. But I do want to clarify something on Switch. Can we count the kind of the 1-2 punch of that initial trailer, and then what we just talked about, the 70, 80 days later, they did like the full details. Like, would we combine that as the reveal, or we're just thinking the reveal is that Zelda trailer that we got in October or November or whenever the heck they dropped that?
So you're talking about the original video that dropped 3 minutes long, had the song that was really hot, had the reveal of the Nintendo Switch Deck Party,
Yep.
and then it showed like all the games, including Skyrim, NBA, Splatoon, an unknown Mario game. I would say that's probably the proper reveal, because there was the event that detailed everything, and then it came out 2 months later. And then the PlayStation 4 event, basically Mark Cerny got up there, basically talked about all the good things, kind of was there coming back to a proper launch, talked about everything they would do. They didn't give away any reveals in regards to costs, but they did reveal that the DualShock 4 would be a much better controller, and they showed some games as well. Very weird event, but actually was held very positively that Sony's back on the right track. And then the Xbox 360 event, that one was just weird. It was on MTV and had Jay Allard. It had some celebrities on this too. I think Elijah Woods was on it. Awesome. Elijah Woods was basically there back in, it was at 2012 is when it came out. It was on MTV. It was called MTV Presents Xbox The Next Generation Revealed. Jay Allard was wearing a hoodie with a jacket, and he talked about Velocity Girl. They showed the Xbox. They had people from MTV, including Sway from Pit My Ride, Ryan Cabrera. They had clips of Saints Row. They had Wilmer Valderrama, Amarian, and a closing performance by the Killers.
Wow. That sounds incredible. Man, this is quite
three different approaches.
Quite like three very different approaches. Okay, I am going to, because I didn't remember the 360 one like at all. It means it didn't stick out in my head.
How old were you in like 2012, Mark? Or it would have probably been like 2011 maybe, or 20, around the time. How old were you?
2012. So I was, what was I in 2012? That's a good question. 28. What year is it right now? Yeah, I was 28. So I was
2025. 2025. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I was.
Oh no, I'm wrong. It's even farther than that back, Mark. Oh my God, I'm wrong.
I was way more than 28 when I got my.
This was way younger. 2005.
2005.
How old were you in 2005? I was 20 years ago. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
2005. Yeah, I think I was. I was
30.
21. Because I was
so
like,
you were in the
university when this.
You were a cool kid. You were at college. You were watching the MTVs with the Road Rules, and
I never right. MTV wasn't as big of a thing in Canada. What was the thing? Really we had like Much Music. We had like our own Canadian version of that, right? So, so I never watched MTV. Like I saw a few of the shows. I
wonder how you saw this. So how did you end up? How would you have seen it?
I don't know if I saw this event.
Oh my God! All. Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't think I ever watched this event. I saw the Xbox revealed. I probably read about this on IGN. I may have seen a couple of clips on like early YouTube or that kind of stuff. But that was really early on. So I want to say that the 360, I wouldn't have caught this reveal at all. And just your description of it, like I don't think I'm catching it at all. And for that reason, I'm going to return this one. Just because it was so regional. If you didn't have MTV, I mean, the rest of these are global launches. They're directed by that. And
Oh, Mark, I can tell you it was on CTV. What is CTV?
Oh yeah, okay. So CTV is like a Canadian network. Interesting.
So it was on CTV.
And threw it on
Yes.
CTV. Weird.
Yeah.
That's incredibly random because like why wouldn't they put it on Much Music, which was like more for like a young generation. I could even see that being on
before
YTV,
G4,
like
Tech TV, whatever it was, Tech TV Canada or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I definitely did not. If I did watch this, I definitely don't remember it. So I'm going to, see, I'm like reading this article. It said CTV people in Canada don't normally get MTV. So it's such a weirdly like regional launch and completely CTV's that's the wrong station for this. In Canada, CTV is like
I love this.
That's like news. That's,
like CNN
stuff like my mom would watch, not constant news, but like that's like CTV is like, your 5 o'clock news, your shows that my mom would watch, like Big Bang Theory reruns, like that kind of shit that like, it's not a station that I'm going to when I'm in my 20s.
Like CBC,
20s.
Like
boring CBC. More, even a little bit more into that, but like it was a CBC competitor kind of thing.
Okay.
So that's such a weird launch. I'm going to give this one, like, that's my return. The other two are tough. And I think I'm leaning towards renting the Switch reveal just because it was so weird. And I remember having 8 billion questions afterwards. And it was like a 4-minute thing that showed people on a rooftop and people playing games and like all of this stuff with
esports in Japan,
similar to what we have with the Switch 2, annoyingly enough. But we're left with this awkwardly long, almost 3-month gap where we have this neat trailer that doesn't really tell us anything. And it's kind of an annoying wait. And I remember talking to Sean, and Sean and I were we were talking about that last time. Like we had this thing of like, why, what are we excited for here? Like, what is this thing? And like talking to other people at that time, it was kind of like, we had too long to sit on it. So it was neat. It was like, okay, we already knew about Breath of the Wild. We already know about a couple of these games. Obviously there's going to be a new Mario game, but like, tell us more about this. Like, oh good, I can play something else, like Skyrim on something else. But it kind of, I think it was snappy, but kind of failed to impress for long enough that I'm going to give that my rental.
Wow.
Which means the PlayStation 4 reveal is going to be by default the one I'm keeping. And it's not because that one was spectacular to my memory. I remember thinking like, Sony's back. They're no longer saying get a second and third job to pay for this. They're doing some things right. And this was before the whole, like, here's how to share games and all that kind of stuff. Like this was still like, but it was Sony at least owning an event. It was them planning an event around this, and whether they talked about price or whatever is irrelevant because you want to stay as close to launch as possible. I understand not talking about price, but they talked about, like you said, they talked about some specs. They talked about the controllers. They talked about all the right things, and they, for the time, I think they did a pretty good job, if my memory served me correctly. So I would really need to go back and watch all of these, and I didn't have time to today. It was like the Mondayest of Mondays, an absolutely crazy amount of shit that was just waiting in my inbox and all throughout the day. And I saw these show notes and I was like, I need to try to watch this. And I literally had like 30 minutes of free time before we started recording. So I was like, that's not going to happen. Let's just go into it with as much memory as I can muster. So that they're my choices, but I could end up like watching all of these like tonight or tomorrow and then changing my answer, because I do want to go and watch and compare all of these. And I just watched the Switch one, so that one's fresh in my mind.
Oh yeah,
so.
I did too. Just compare it to what they showed there versus
Exactly.
the Switch 2 reveal, because it's like, wow, yeah. Mark, I want you to watch the Xbox reveal party.
Yeah. I have it.
It is the
already.
weirdest thing in the world.
Loaded up.
It is weird. Yeah. It's an entertainment festival. It was telling like Xbox is your cool friend now.
Right. And yeah. And I mean, Xbox 360 ended up being one of my favorite consoles ever. Just
me too.
Like that. And it's because we're going with that reveal specifically.
Yes.
That one. And it being so regionally locked in. Like I said, CTV is just the stupidest choice for that up here. I 1000% missed that. Back then I didn't have like, a DVR or something or whatever. I'm like, early university.
And if you're not a CTV viewer anyways, like, are you like, oh, you're going to see a commercial for it? I mean, but IGN have at the time said, hey, watch CTV or whatever the Canadian gaming source
and followed back then was. Right. It was I was following IGN. So if IGN reported like there's going to be a thing on MTV, I would have been like, well, I don't have MTV, so screw that. I'm going to the bar. Or like doing something that, an early 21-year-old would be doing.
And YouTube didn't exist. So it's not like you could just like watch clips on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and so, not even early YouTube. No. I'm thinking like at that point, early YouTube may have been a thing, but like, not any significant
just in video. I don't know. I mean, there was just very limited video. I remember IGN had video clips of things, game reviews.
I remember downloading
GameTrailers.com.
Like Smash Brothers trailers and stuff. And you have to wait for them to download or like whatever. And it's, a potato camera version of it, but you're like, oh my God, Solid Snakes in Smash Brothers. What are your choices for this one? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I took a different approach because I'm like, okay, I know with the reveals, it's kind of like their first impression, right? It's not like you should learn everything. There's still questions to be answered. No prices, like we said, all these things. So I'm actually going to return the PS4 because the PS4 was, I would say it was Mark Cerny. When Mark Cerny gets involved with anything, it just becomes like a class. It's not very fun. It's like Bueller. I mean, but he goes over all the details, but it's like you almost want like it to be more entertaining. It's like it's Professor PowerPoint, right? I mean, so it wasn't very exciting, but it did get into some cool ideas like why the PlayStation is going to be unique. It's like sharing was a big deal. You're going to be able to share like your gaming moments with a controller. I'm like, that is brand new. That is thinking. That's forward thinking. Had the touchpad in the controller. I'm like, this PlayStation is doing some weird things. And talked about like the architecture. And it was the first time PlayStation actually used a PC-based architecture. So you wouldn't have to worry about the weird cell issues. So it was really a step forward. But once again, it was like more like just the facts, ma'am. And it wasn't that exciting. I think they showed some clips of some games, but overall it was more about the tech. And it just was made, I think it was to get out in front of everything because it came out in January. And E3 is when all the details came out. So it's almost like them just getting in front of everything to say, this is our generation and we're going to take it back from Xbox. So it was not exciting, but I think it's what PlayStation needed after just being a horrible like launch and being, it was then being kind of like modest, which was interesting for a change. Bring up Professor Cerny, the most nerdiest person in the world, and not wearing a cool hoodie.
Yeah, PlayStation has done a few of those, like technical demonstration, technical breakdown kind of thing.
Lately,
just like, oh, dude, stop this! Don't
Here's
do
the
that.
PS5 Pro, and it's like a it's the video nobody wants. Just give me the 2-minute snap, and it's like, oh, even that was really boring. So that's going to be my rent or my return. And this is the hard part. I'm going to get the Xbox. I'm going to rent the Xbox 360 just because for me now, it's a snapshot in time of what Xbox was going for. They were trying to be the like hip and cool. They were the first HD console, so they had like Saints Row gameplay, which was kind of cool. I'm like, cool. This
Okay.
This is HD. It's cool. GTA 5 or GTA 3 on PlayStation was a big deal, but this was them getting say, hey, you like GTA 3? Well, look at this HD version of GTA. And this is our game we're going to launch with, and the only way you can play it is on Xbox. But they also got into like some weird, like, we're going to let you create merchandise you can sell on our marketplace, which is Velocity Girl is like I'm going to design a skateboard and you can sell it and your avatars can use it. Because they introduced avatars, and that never happened. And then they had like celebrities, and it was like going from the Rock with Bill Gates for Xbox One to we're going to bring in Elijah Woods, who is obviously just coming off the huge, Lord of the Rings and those bands playing. I mean, the Killers, come on, the power of MTV compels you.
Yeah.
So,
it sounds fantastic. I took so many points off because it was regionally locked, but it does sound like
regionally locked. I like that.
Ridiculous time. Like, I'm going to change my answers for this after I watch them. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. It just reminds me of the era because I loved watching G4, all that, like Tech TV, G4, which became G4 Tech TV, which I think just became G4, whatever. Love that era when it was just like that emerging, like, hey, video games can be cool. There's cool people talking about them. Oh my God. So that was kind of the beginning of that really neat era. So I'll give them credit for that. But the Switch, that's my buy, man. That's just like, talk about a snapshot and just saying, this is a different Nintendo. They were they didn't focus on like their more family friendly games. They focused on like Skyrim and the ability to play those games you didn't really get to play on Wii U and 3DS. And it was basically saying, oh yeah, you wanted a system that can do everything. We're going to show how it works. And we're going to be around cool kids and adults. We're going to try to age up over the Wii audience, which was, little kids with grandma bowling. This was their approach to make some stylish hardware that didn't scream like Fisher Price. And they showed you what the system could do. And then the promise of some things which made you like, oh, wow, there's a Mario. What Mario game is that? That looks amazing. So for me, and then Breath of the Wild, you're going to play Breath of the Wild in this thing too. That's awesome. It's not going to get left behind. So that's my buy. I just felt like it was Nintendo finally turning a corner, which they desperately needed to do. And I was like, I'm gonna pre-order this day one. Yeah.
Excellent.
So there you go. Yeah. Awesome. It's fun when we look back at these, how they approach it now. It's like, I don't know how the next systems are getting revealed. And quite honestly, the PS5 reveal, the Series X reveal, they just don't stand out. They're kind of like, I don't know, more HD, maybe something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just seem less fun.
Yeah.
So we'll see we'll see what Switch 2 does in, 2 months. April, or right around that. It's like April 3rd. So what is April 4th? What is it? April 2nd?
I think it's April 2nd because I know I have.
Ooh, it's my anniversary. That's my anniversary. So that's a good gift for me.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so we'll be very excited for that. All right, Mark. Since it's a lighter week, it's just the two of us. Mm-hmm. I thought we could talk about some of the things that have happened in the world of games, over the last 2 weeks. So we got first an Xbox Developer Direct. That was announced. We got 4 games. Those games that we saw highlights of were South of Midnight. We also saw. Remind me of the other games if you think of them off the top of your head. Well, I think of them too. I should probably put a link in here. Not very professional, Todd.
We saw Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Expedition 33, Ninja Gaiden 4. We got dropping that day was Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which I thought was very exciting. Am I missing something? Clair Obscure, Expedition 33.
Very French game.
I already said that. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. That was it.
South Midnight, Clair Obscure, Expedition 33. 2 of the games are from third party. 2 of the games are first party, all coming to Game Pass. And Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and Ninja Gaiden 4 were kind of they had nothing there before the event, and then they were shown first. We saw that logo for Team Ninja, It was very exciting. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we're back. That reminds me of the OG Xbox launch with Ninja Gaiden and how awesome that game was. So, Mark, with all these games, we got release dates, except for
Mhm.
Ninja Gaiden, we got a fall. We got release dates, and they're all coming. I mean, very soon. We've got, I mean, the first one that's coming out of these games, South Midnight, April 8th. This game is essentially an action not platformer. I mean, action. What's the best way to describe it? I mean, it's kind of like a not God of War, but I mean, it's an action
Action
adventure game.
adventure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think would be pretty good. Yeah, different like macabre southern gothic kind of creepy mystical larger than life encounters with beings and powers and folklore inspired stuff. Really cool art style, kind of like stop motion animation ish. Super cool. I have been looking forward to this one since it was first revealed, and I thought they did an excellent job showing it off here. And then dropping the April 8th release date, I think is fantastic. Story trailer pre-ordering is up. Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
yeah. They the great thing about the Dev Direct is they basically the team that created the game gives you an overview of the game. You know, the highs, the lows, tell you a little bit about the studio that makes it. This is by Compulsion Games, who did We Happy Few. They also did it was a game called, it was on a PlayStation and Xbox. It was basically using shadows to do some to move around. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, I mean, it's a cool studio, and I'm glad that they're getting a chance to do this. But yeah, to your point, all the things you mentioned are awesome. They do the animations. They did animation style. They say it's on the twos, basically. So it's almost like a skip frame, which is similar to like Spider-Verse. So very cool like that, but you can turn that effect off. So if you're like, you don't like it, it maybe screws with your head, you can turn that effect off and just go straight on. But it looks like a very cool game. This is day and date on Game Pass, Xbox, and PC. No announced date for PlayStation. But that leads us to the next game, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, launching April 24th, 2025. This is by a very small French studio. This game is essentially a Western turn-based RPG. Some people would call RPG, but because it's Western, not J, but it's basically a turn-based RPG. We've had a few games like that, like the South Park RPG games are like that. There's also been another game which was Darksiders. No, not Darksiders. Kind of like the game. There's a studio that does that as well. So this is kind of cool. It's a first game, and the premise of this is it's called Expedition 33 because apparently there's this weird, like antagonist that essentially sets a clock forward, sets a number, and if you are older than that number, you are dead. So it's called 33. So if you're Mark, we'd both be dead, unfortunately. So it's not good.
Nuts.
They need to solve this, but it's basically turn-based with like Mario RPG like elements where you have to do timing right to do your attacks. Looks beautiful. The writing's great, and it's got some really good voice actors in it. It's got the voice of Gollum,
Andy Serkis.
Yes, Andy Serkis is in this. Ben Starr from Final Fantasy. So there's some really good talent here. This is coming day and date to Xbox Series X. It's also coming to PlayStation. You pay $70 for it. So if you have Game Pass, you're going to get this game basically for free through your subscription. So, and I've heard it's only going to be like a 30-hour RPG, which for me is a good sign. Yeah. Are you into turn-based RPGs, Mark, at all?
I can be. This one is a maybe for me, very much in the maybe category. I like the premise of it. Story seems interesting. 19th century France seems like a cool fantasy setting. So we'll see. I'm definitely, I'm not opposed to turn-based RPGs. One of the things that turns me off of turn-based JRPGs is usually the length. So if you're clocking in at 30 hours and it's a cool story, I could see me messing with this one, especially if it's on Game Pass. I love that with Game Pass. It lets me try things that I might not have given a chance to, or, some games that aren't usually in my wheelhouse. And I'm going to talk about one of those games thanks to a gaming service in a little bit that, usually I would skip over. So this one's one of those, like, I probably would not pay money for it without trying a really, really good demo, but because it's on Game Pass, I'm going to try the hell out of this.
Yeah. And it's great because essentially I've done it with other Game Pass games. It's great because, if you like it, you've played it, you don't have to worry about like a demo where sometimes your progress doesn't carry over. Your progress just saves. It's there in the cloud waiting for you if you ever want to come back to it. So, I appreciate that. The next game that's getting a release date is Doom: The Dark Ages, launching May 15th, coming to everything day and date on PlayStation, but you have to pay $70 for it. So that's a theme mark right there. Basically, if you want it on PlayStation, $70. Enjoy it. If you got Game Pass, play it now. No money lost in the transaction. This game, they said they are doubling down on getting it back to the basics of like Doom 3, I guess, where it's more like strafing, more melee combat, and getting away from all the traversal of Doom Eternal that a lot of people turned a lot of people off, like myself. Doom Eternal was just too crazy. It was too much movement. It was like, I can't handle this. I can barely chew bubblegum and talk at the same time. And they are doubling down on that. I mean, they talked about like, you're going to get all these cool weapons. You're going to get basically a mace. You're going to get a shield that's like Captain America, but with one button, you can launch it. It's also a chainsaw. You can do that. So there's abilities with melee. And the other part of it is there's no glory kills this time. So they're getting away from the animations, but you do, once again, you kill somebody, you get stuff that comes out of them like a piñata, like your health or ammunition. And the other thing they talked about was that there is no multiplayer because they just wanted to make the single player campaign that much better and deeper. And they also added a mega mech.
Yes.
In the game.
Insane. This is kind of what I want from a Doom game. Up close, in your face. I loved, there was a shot in this trailer or throughout this video that they showed exactly what you were talking about, the strafing mechanic. And they showed it in the old game, and then they showed it in the new game with like the exact same enemy type or enemy kind of thing, almost in the exact same spot on screen. And I thought it was such a beautiful way to connect the series, the new game, to the past, and show exactly what the direction of this game was very quickly, very viscerally, of just like, if you liked how Doom used to feel and you think we went in a weird direction with Eternal or with, the newer games, this is kind of a return to that in your face, let's go punch something or shoot it in the face kind of feel that I can't wait to get my hands on this one.
Oh, and lastly, we forget there's actually a flying portion of the game where you get on a dragon, and they said it's not like just a gimmick. It is actually, it's not one level and it's done. You get to go back to that type of experience. So I'm like, they're going all in like new experiences within Doom, which we haven't had for a long time. So I'm very excited. I'm glad that they can use Doom to experiment and try new things. I mean, and you don't have to tape a flashlight onto your shotgun. Yeah. Remember that? The mods for that were crazy.
So I love that. I love that they showed the connection to the past, and they showed that kind of traditional Doom feel, but they're also taking it in these crazy new directions. They're going full Power Rangers with a mech. They're going like, Hellbent How to Train Your Dragon. So it's like they're hitting on all these things that I just absolutely love, and they're wrapping it all in Doom. And this is high on my list of stuff I need to play this year. This is going to be awesome.
And there's even more story too, which is like, I don't think of Doom as a story, but they're going into really develop a story around it too. And this is a prequel apparently. So I'm like, Interesting. I like that. This is like they're going all in on Doom guy. So I love the fact that he's a legend, and that's where we are. Lastly, we already touched on it a little bit, but Ninja Gaiden Black 2 is a remaster of Ninja Gaiden, which got a Sigma version, I think, back in the day. And there was a Black of original game, which is basically, it's like their director's cut, I guess the best way to put it. And it's in Unreal Engine 5. And someone had said basically, I think they did that because they wanted to show that they could use the engine before they went to Ninja Gaiden 4. The cool part about Ninja Gaiden 4 is it's also being co-developed by Platinum, which I love Platinum games. They make amazing games. And they're going, and basically there's going to be another ninja that is, I believe, the same clan or another clan, and you get introduced to him first, but Hayabusa is in this game as well. It's kind of like one of those things where, is it just they're going to fight like superheroes do at the beginning, and then they just get along after they realize we're on the same team? High five. So it's kind of like us, Mark. Our first, meeting. Yeah. We beat each other up, and we said, "Hey, why are we doing this? We should podcast." Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I held up my shield. You smacked it with a hammer. All the trees fell down. Exactly. I remember it vividly.
Absolutely, yeah. But this game is coming out fall of 2025, and it just looks like pure Ninja Gaiden that we love, which is difficult to do well in unless you learn your moves, you understand patterns, but it is not a Souls-like. It's not a roguelite, which I love because games used to be hard and they didn't require like all of the weird, like, oh, you lose all your progress or something like that, or you have to go back to the beginning, you can't restart or you can't save. So I'm glad we're getting more of this because I was pretty good at these games and I loved them to pieces. Now 3 was not a good game. So I'm glad that we're getting a re-emphasis on the series and it's coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm pumped for these. I've downloaded 2 on my Xbox. Have not had a chance to play it yet, but I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the dev directs they've been doing with Xbox. I think they've been the most successful type of focus they have with their teams, talking through games. I think it works really well. And we're probably going to get more of these. I know we're getting an ID Xbox preview show, which is typically indies, not Xbox Studios, but it's the games they're going to talk about. And not all of those come to Game Pass, which is always a shame to me because I'm like, if they're not in Game Pass, I don't know if they get overlooked or not on Xbox. I kind of feel they do, which is a shame.
Especially with indies, because it's like, here's 5 really great looking indie games that are coming to Xbox. And then here's another 5 that you have to pay for. It's like,
yeah,
okay, but you just told me 5 games that in my mind I get for free, and free is better than paying for things.
Exactly. And they're $70 games too, right?
Yeah. Like it's not like, like it's not like they're the cheap indie ones too. It's always like the most expensive ones. That again, to my point, it's like they never come with a demo, and sometimes indie games like can throw weird little curveballs or can be, for every SteamWorld Dig 2, you get like, I'm trying to think of a bad indie game.
What's that one game that you played that you said was horrible? It was like was it a chicken game or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a tiger or something. I cannot remember the name of that one, but yeah, there
was a game did not go well with you. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully there's going to be some big games there because I think indies do need a little help. Kyle over on the Trophy Room, he does the 6-1 indie game podcast. They do an awards. They do all these things about indies. So it's great that they get those elevated. But yeah, they either need a demo or they need to be part of Game Pass for people to give them a chance because there's just too many games to spend your money on. And, it may look cool, but it's tough. One announcement that did come out that I, just want to touch on really shortly, which is Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PS5. And quite honestly, Mark, I think when we get the next Switch reveal, it will also be announced to Switch 2. Yeah, is this surprising to you?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I kind of feel like we're getting rumors now that we're going to get the Master Chief collection. We might get a Gears collection. I mean, Forza's kind of like one of their like it's kind of one of the, like, you think of the pillars of Xbox, it's Forza. So if Forza goes, I just don't think anything's sacred anymore.
Well, when did 5 launch? November
2021? It's been 4 years.
Okay. So at this point, who cares? If that's how they're going to do their launches for other things, is that game making any money whatsoever on Xbox right now? If it's, and I'm not including like its little share of Game Pass or whatever. I'm saying, is this game selling copies on Xbox? And if you can sell,
or even on Steam, right? I mean, it's been on Steam for forever now too.
If you can sell, let's pretend it is launching with Switch 2 or it's coming out with Switch 2. Like if you can sell an extra 5 million units on PlayStation and Switch, why wouldn't you? Like it's not like you're taking something away from Xbox fans. It's not like it's day and date. Now, if they launch the next one day and date, that could be a little weird for like people who prefer Xbox hardware. What's the compelling reason to get Xbox hardware if their games are going everywhere? You know, it's a tried and true kind of statement of like why going third party and why some places, you know, you won't see Nintendo and PlayStation doing that. And Xbox is playing a very different game right now. They're playing a weird game where everything is an Xbox and they don't really care as long as they're making money and blah, 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 whatever. But I think they still need some compelling reasons. So if this was day and date with an Xbox release for a big Xbox Forza franchise, I think I'd have maybe a different feeling of it. But a 4-year-old game, yeah, let them make their money. You know what I mean? Like who cares?
Yeah, I looked. It's $60 on Steam. And you can buy it for $30 on Xbox if you don't have Game Pass. So, I mean, and unfortunately, the Horizon games get delisted because of the licenses. Yeah. So, what I'm hoping is, like, I think if you buy, I think Forza Horizon 4 is being delisted because of the licenses, and they were selling it, so people were buying it. Yeah. What I would hope is maybe with Horizon 5 coming on a PlayStation means it's getting relicensed so it'll last longer. So, you know, you can still buy it if you're late to the party on Xbox and things like that. It's always frustrating because, you know, and I think it's a title that I think both Switch and PlayStation desperately need a over-the-top driving festival type game because, I mean, Mario Kart is really there on Switch, and then we've got, you know, Gran Turismo on PlayStation. We don't have we had one game, The Crew Motorfest, which was from Ubisoft, and I think that it did well. But you know, when you've got Forza, I mean, that's a heavy hitter. So I mean,
and again, I've said this before with so many other games and so many other services. If your game has an online component, launch it in as many places as you can.
Yeah.
Make it crossplay. I think Sea of Thieves, Halo, Forza, any of these multiplayer games, again, doesn't have to be day and date, but I think 4 years might be a little, but you never know. There's probably still a very dedicated group of Xbox players, but like when it launches on PlayStation and all your PlayStation friends are saying like, man, Horizon 5 is finally on PlayStation, jump on a match. Like I'm going to re-download that on my Xbox.
Oh yeah. All the Xbox people are going to be happy they smoke all the PlayStation players because they're like, we've been playing this for 5 years, dude. Get on it.
But even if I played that game at launch, even if I have to re-download it and essentially start from scratch because my 4-year-old muscle memory, like, is it coming back all the way? No.
Absolutely. And there's so much more content now, right? Yeah. So new cars, new stuff. And so it feels kind of fresh.
I'm going to be right there with my PlayStation friends saying, yeah, let's jump in. Let's do something. I was playing Fortnite with a couple of guys from work last week, and we were talking about it. Like, what other games could we play that everyone has access to? Because there's a mix of Xbox and PlayStation players, and it didn't matter for Fortnite it was great. So we started listing these kind of games, and it was like, Marvel
Sea of
Rivals
Thieves
kind
now.
of came up.
You
Sea
could,
of Thieves came up.
yeah,
I said,
yeah,
like,
Rivals,
depending
yeah.
on what the vibe is, kind of thing. Like Call of
Fall
Duty
Guys.
obviously comes up in that kind
Yeah,
of
there's a
thing.
few others that are out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Simple, easy to get
but
into.
like
Yeah,
when you can add more games to that list, it's great, especially more games that are not just battle royale shooters. So if it's a racing game,
yep,
hell yeah. The first one to go crazy multi-platform like this that got review scores like this game did, because it was hitting like nines, tens, like
yep. It
this
was
is a
IGN's
great
Game of the Year.
game.
I mean, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So get that everywhere. And it 4 years is even like, I'm glad that it's coming up. And like you said, maybe it's a license renewal thing and it lasts for longer. Um,
It's good
yeah,
news.
hell yeah. Let's go.
Because we don't know when we're getting the next Forza Horizon, because obviously it was Playground Games is making the next Fable, and we just had the main 10-turn game. Our team just made the most recent Forza Motorsport, so obviously that's not coming to PlayStation yet, but I could see it coming eventually too, because once those games get to a certain point, once you've sold as many copies as you think of, what does it do? It doesn't help you, right? It's a catalog. It's like the old Netflix series, the old one. I'm like, well, are you signing up for that to get on Netflix? Probably not. So, yeah. One example, Mark, I can give you is with Sony now going, some titles will be day and date on PC. Helldivers 2. That game, if it only been on PlayStation, I don't think it would be as the success it is. I just saw it is in the top 3 of PC games playing.
Wow.
It wasn't in the top 20 on PlayStation, or maybe it was, but I mean, PC players want to do that game. It's a great game. That's why I hope that game comes to Xbox. I hope it comes Switch, because that's a game that's just so much fun to play with friends. And it's not a PvP. It's just PvE. Just get in there, go crazy, kind of like Destiny. And there hasn't been a game like Destiny in some time now. And I think Helldivers is the closest to it that I wish more people could play it. I hope it does come to other, like in a year. It just comes everywhere. It just deserves to go there.
That was kind of what sparked off this conversation was, man, I wish you had a PlayStation, because Helldivers is awesome. And he and one of the techs had played Helldivers a couple of times. And he was like, this would be awesome to get like a couple of groups or, big group playing, but not everyone has both PlayStation and Xbox or PC or whatever. And it was just like, okay, well that's what led to this conversation of like, okay, well, what games do we all have access to? So, more games on more things. More games on all the things.
I mean, if you get to think about it, eventually it's like it's going to be PC and Switch, because all the games from PlayStation, Xbox will be on PC, and then Switch will be just Switch, and you'll never play those games on. Will come on the PC. So I think it's really like, hey, you got your handheld PC, you got your handheld Switch, you're good to go. So I think that's the future. And I think it's to make everybody happier. Then really quickly, we're supposed to get a Switch Direct coming in February. This would basically be outlining all of the remaining 4 Switch games that will also play on Switch too. So we know we're getting a Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've heard rumors about maybe a new Fire Emblem or a remaster of Fire Emblem. And because other than that, like maybe Metroid Prime 4 finally gets a release date, because that's supposed to be a Switch game. Does that come out day and date? I don't know, Mark. So what do you think about that? I mean, are we going to get like a weird surprise, like remaster? Any predictions on the last true Switch only Direct?
Yeah, I could see this being like we said, I think the last show, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are really 2 of like the only standouts from the Zelda franchise. And I'm working my way still through that Pikmin replay with my son. We're on Pikmin 4 now. And being able to play that whole series on Switch really highlights when a series is missing something, like Zelda is missing Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. So I could see those games being released, and I don't think there's any reason to hold them back only for a Switch 2 release. Unless it was like, here's Wind Waker in full 4K. It looks the best it's ever looked. Here's HDR. We're throwing it up. But there's no reason to do that for Twilight Princess in my mind, because who cares? For that, it's not like it's a bright, colorful 4K looking kind of game. It's
What
like
else are they going to do? It's already in HD it's already on HD in Wii U, right? Are they going to do more to it?
I don't think so. Look at Donkey Kong. They don't do stuff.
And Luigi's Mansion 2 did nothing for that game.
Yeah, it's
nothing. Prettier.
It mildly. So yeah, I can see that kind of stuff. I could see them talking about Pokemon. What is it, ZA or whatever?
Oh yes, ZA is Pokemon Day is coming up soon, right?
Yeah, so I could see them doing something with Pokemon Day and having it here, or vice versa, depending on when this drops. Like they could have like a trailer here and more information on Pokemon Day, or they could have some information on Pokemon Day and then a recap on this thing. Depends which one drops first or what. But I think we'll hear about it. They could always do some. We always get that end of console weird shit kind of game.
Yeah,
that's usually like a Kirby or a Yoshi game.
Usually it's Kirby, but really Kirby's been pretty good lately. Kirby's might be a Yoshi game.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of threw Yoshi out there. Yeah,
yeah.
I could see that, like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the weird stuff, and it's really nice that it's going to work on Switch too.
Oh, Mark, I got the game.
All right, let's go.
Amiibo Festival. That's the final port of Wii U. Right.
My son has asked me
was the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Yeah.
My son has asked me to break out the Wii U. That was a conversation we had this morning. Because he had stumbled upon, he loves watching Pikmin videos when we're not playing Pikmin.
Okay.
And he stumbled upon, what was that game called with the Wii U? Nintendo Land?
The Nintendo Land, with the shooting of the arrows, and the Luigi's Mansion had one. There was like an alien game, and
so that was cool. He stumbled upon a clip from the Pikmin mini game in Nintendo Land.
I forgot there was one in there. I didn't I totally forgot that.
And he was like, "What is this Pikmin game?" And I was like, "Well, it's not technically a Pikmin game." And he's like pointing at it, like, "Yes, it is. You idiot." It's
Dad, don't lie to me.
Yeah, look, there's Pikmin, there's a Bulborb. It's a Pikmin game. You tool. What's it called? And I was like, no, it's part of a compilation. I couldn't remember the name Nintendo Land for the life of me. And I was like, it's a Wii U Land, Wii U Sports. No, it's something. I was like, the name is something. I was like, anyway, it's part of a mini game collection. I will set up the Wii U and we will play it this week. So I have to do that at some point. And charge everything and
well, hopefully you're. I know some of the Wii U's have been like they've been bricked or something because you need to update it every once in a while or turn it on. So hopefully, because that will kill that will just crush your son.
Oh, the second I saw him after work, he's like, "So did you set that thing up yet?" And I was like, "Dude, I dropped you off at school and I went to work and I just got home." No, I didn't.
And that's all he thought of all day, Mark. He's like, when you say you like had your son talk to you, I'm like, is this like, Dad, we got to talk. We got to talk about the Wii U. Very serious.
It was like, I was, my shoes weren't even off. And he was like, just set that thing up.
No.
I was like, you goblin child. No, I did not. Like,
what else do you have to do, Dad? What else do you have to do, Dad? That's all he says.
You and your mother have been home for 2 hours.
Children are wonderful, but
no. Anyway, that will happen, and I will play. Most likely, I'll be playing Nintendo Land next time we record. So,
I'm hoping for a port of Devil's Third, the most infamous game ever on the Wii U.
Absolutely,
aka Devil's Turd.
An HD remake of Mad World from the Wii. Still black and white.
The most gory black and white game ever.
I'd love for them to do some weird stuff like that. Like Zach and Wiki, like bring that game back, Capcom. Come on, what are you doing?
Of course. I want the Beautiful Joe HD collection. Do that. Come on. Yes. Make my world happy.
Like the Capcom remake show.
5. Yeah, the Capcom 5 or whatever it was called. Yeah. Piano 3, or was that the game that was weird, like a rhythm game? Oh, so odd.
Yeah.
So odd. And Dino Crisis, 6? Or whatever the game was too. It's like, so crazy. Oh, yeah. That was the Xbox game, I think. Oh, well. Okay, next, Mark. Last news story. That's actually a rumor, but I think it's going to happen. PlayStation State of Play happening the week of 2/10. PlayStation has to announce something. They have been so quiet. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
the week of. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're thinking, what's the rumor here? We get an announcement at the end of this week or on the 10th?
I think Monday, maybe for a Tuesday, or Tuesday for a Wednesday.
Okay. All right.
Something like that. Because, because I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but PlayStation has not been putting out any games. It's been very quiet.
No, not at all.
And it's like, but we put out PS5 Pro, but old games play better.
Stuff look better-ish. Yeah. It'd be a good time to do it. I mean, we're still early. I think January was crazy enough this year, and we're finally out of that. January only lasted a couple of months this year.
That's true. Yeah, and February has a lot of games, so you probably want to get out of February.
I think. I think doing that, next week. I think that makes sense. I'd like to see what PlayStation's up to. I think Astrobot is one of the most talked about games that we've never owned in this house. So, yeah.
Mark, when are you going to go over and steal your brother's PS5?
He still didn't buy Astrobot. I got to buy it myself and then steal his PlayStation. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I keep bugging him to buy it so I can steal
now that there's no tariffs, buy it now.
No,
you can share it. You both get to play it.
Almost
split it with
PlayStation 5.
Okay.
If I wasn't going to Disney in 60 days, I would absolutely 1000% own a PlayStation 5 right now. I'm just like, and like, I know I have the money, and I'm just like, but what if I see something cool?
Oh, Mark, Disney, that is like the biggest trap in the world. It's like going to Vegas, right? Well, I'll just bet a little bit.
So
right?
I booked the Droid building for my son and my two nephews this morning. So
you're going with the big family. Okay.
There's 10 of us there. It's going to be crazy. So I booked the Droid building this morning for the 3 of them. And I know the lightsaber I'm going to buy already. So I just like it's.
You're getting another one. Is Finn getting one too?
Gunji's. No. I'm not doing a lightsaber build this time. I'm buying a replica Gunji's lightsaber.
Okay.
The Wookiee
Are you doing Universal Studios Harry Potter at all, or no?
Most of them are, but the 3 of us are sitting that one out. Here, Finn's not interested at all. And
he's too young. Yeah, he's too young.
Super interested in the water parks.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to be in Disney so long, and staying on the resort that like the add on a day ticket price for when they were going, it was like, I forget, Universal, like for the 3 of us was like, I don't know, $700 or something crazy.
Wow.
For like the 2 parks for one day for 3 of us, it was like an insane amount of money versus I think it was like $15 to $18 to go to like the water park for the day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
For a 4-year-old who's not interested in Harry Potter whatsoever.
Well, that'll be something that Loren will want to do because they just announced the new expansion at Universal Studios.
Yeah, so that's opening. My wife wants to do that. We're gonna miss that expansion.
Space it out.
If that was open, Nintendo Land and Universal Monsters and all that kind of How to Train Your Dragon, this would be a very different trip. So I think our next one, we're going to give it a few years, let Finn get a little older, and then we'll probably
indoctrinate him into Harry Potter. Yep.
We'll probably do more of a Universal trip with a couple of days in Disney rather than this one, which is going to be the opposite. Anyway.
We did the opposite. We did more Universal, and Disney had not done Star Wars yet. It was not great. So we're like, this time we're going to do probably the opposite, but my wife could spend all day. And that Monsters thing in Universal looks amazing. So
yeah, my brother and I were watching the trailers for that one, just geeking out like Girl Scouts.
Love it.
It was just like, we've loved the Universal monsters forever. So
Yeah,
like we just
it's
watch them.
great.
We just send videos and like things to each other. All it's just like, dude, have you seen this?
Yep.
We were talking
But
about
getting back
video
to
games at one
PlayStation,
point. Yeah.
yeah, getting back to PlayStation, I am hoping we do get some clear dates on games that we're expecting this year. I would love to find out that Wolverine is actually coming this year. Go Symbiote, love that too.
Right.
And what I would like to hear, Mark, from PlayStation is saying, yeah, our studio's got all of their live action games canceled, but we're going to actually employ third party studios to develop basically remakes or reinterpretations of some of our classic games you haven't seen in forever, like Killzone or going back to Ratchet and Clank, or sorry, Jack and Daxter, things like that, which I
Sly
think they need
Cooper.
to do because there's been so many games that the series that I feel like need to come back and they've just been ignoring it. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do what they do with Ratchet and Clank 20, the basically the remake on PlayStation 5. I'm hoping they do that with all their series, basically update it and make it good. Because right now on PlayStation, I'm the biggest PlayStation supporter, but man, they are trash right now. I feel like I don't know when I'm getting more games, and that's why I became a PlayStation fan. Not because of their hardware, but because of their franchises and their studios, and I want more of those.
And I mean, even look at the Xbox Developer Direct. You don't have to have 50 games in a showcase or in a state of play or whatever it is. You can do a really solid thing with 4 games and have a really solid presentation with nailed down release dates or at least a very specific window and have fans really excited for some stuff. Drop something day and date, have a couple of things that are close by and one thing that's like a little bit off, but still close enough to get excited about. Like, you don't have to blow this like sky high roof off the thing. Give us a handful of games that are coming out this year and we'll be happy. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, look what Ninja Gaiden 4 did. And then having that remake or remaster, I mean, it made people very excited. And it basically gives another card in Xbox's deck that they can put into Game Pass and also sell you as a publisher for $70. So I mean, I think they're living the best of both worlds right now, and I think it's great for Xbox and their fans to have more games to play and be part of Game Pass. I think that's really what it's all about. So,
yeah.
Well, Mark, that is the news. Now it's time to talk about what we've actually been playing. So for you, I see a game that some would say is almost an addiction.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, I already mentioned a couple of games that I've been playing. So I'm going to skip most of it. I've been playing Pikmin. We finished Pikmin 3. I've been playing Pikmin 4 and kind of restarted that one. I've been playing up and then playing like Fortnite and stuff with the friends from work. So I've got my like adult, normal, usual gaming kind of hobbies and that kind of stuff. The new one I've been playing, and this is what I said, where it needs a demo or on a service. It's a game I wouldn't usually play. I'm not a big poker player. I'm not a big card game fan, as most people that listen to this show regularly will know. I don't really, I've tried even Marvel, Snap, that kind of stuff. Like those franchises, like every once in a while, a card game will hook me on for like a week or two. And then I'm just like, card mechanics, whatever, it's done. Apple Arcade has Balatro Plus. So if you're a subscriber to that service, which I am because I have the big like family plan with music and extra storage and all that kind of shit that Apple ropes you into. So I have Apple Arcade. It is available on my phone, my iPad, and my MacBook, where I've been playing the most of this, which is super weird for me.
Really?
Yeah. Been playing it. Cause like I'll play a hand at work or when I'm doing something at home, just one quick hand. If I have like 2 minutes of downtime and you play around and then you just swipe the screen away and it's good to go. If anyone at work is listening, no, I've never done that in my life.
Just on the toilet, Mark, on your private time.
That's it. 100%.
That's it.
But so Balatro Plus, it's good. I see the appeal. I haven't fallen off of it yet. It was fairly easy to kind of get, if you're familiar with poker. Because it was in so many discussions for like game of the year, I was expecting to have a Vampire Survivors style
yes
reaction to this game. And Balatro is definitely not Vampire Survivors.
Yes, I'd agree.
It's good. It's fun. I like the little mechanics of like, oh, this multiplier and this card and these kind of things. And it's kind of that roguelike poker game kind of, I get the appeal of it and I'm still playing it. I'm not trying to like shit on this game completely. It just, I don't think it was in the same kind of game of the year discussions, or should have been in the same kind of game of the year discussions, the same way that Vampire Survivors was. That's a very personal opinion because Vampire Survivors is one of my favorite games of like the last.
Oh, yeah. I think it felt like a new genre, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, but like, this isn't that for me. So I can see the appeal. I can see me leaving this. Maybe I didn't really like it on my phone, so I don't know if I'll even leave it on my phone.
Really?
I found it cramped. Yeah. That's why I've been moving. Oh. I've been playing more on my iPad or the computer. I like the bigger screen to like really see my hand. Maybe that's like like feeling like I'm playing with actual card-sized cards or as close to it as I can, or something. There's something mentally there for me that playing on my phone was just like, this isn't ideal. It's playable, perfectly playable. If you like this game and you want it, like Apple Arcade's a great way to get this on your phone if you have an Apple device. But just not where I prefer, and I've tested it everywhere. So just not where I prefer playing it. It is playable, but like I can see me leaving this on my iPad or my computer or both and just kind of like picking away at it. Will I stick with this for as long as I have Vampire Survivors? Is it going to be my new comfort game? Probably not. But I'm glad I've played it. I'm glad I've tried it. I was talking to a friend of mine who owns a bubble tea shop. The last couple of times I was in, she was like, you got to play this game. I was like, I absolutely will play it. And then I went back this weekend and I was like, I still haven't played it. I know, I will play it immediately when I get home. So that was Saturday. So I made sure it was everywhere and I played it, and it was good. It's a good game. I do enjoy it, but it's not, I think the talks about it being in game of the year categories really set my expectations higher than it should have been. But I'm glad that I stuck through it and played longer to get over that and enjoy the game for what it is, because it is a good game.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was almost initially ruined by like, this is it? Where's the rest?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's like, poker with jokers. Poker with jokers. That's kind of what it is. With jokers that are modifiers, they do things, you can do that thing. Yeah, it's adding that cool extra. It's not like Puzzle Quest where it was like a match 3 with RPG elements. To me, that was a genre changer. Puzzle Quest on the DS when that happened, and it's like, or Vampire Survivors. Like, it's
something
you've never done before.
It's weird. Yeah. Like there's been games that are like this that have done.
Oh, Mark, you know how many stupid like or with card games there are on mobile that it's like, I need more energy because your solitaire game or whatever. Yeah. So to me, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. I think it was a little bit overhyped. I get it. I know people that are really into it. My son bought it on Steam so he could mod it to basically break the game. For me though, it's a perfect toilet game. I play a hand, do a run. It's great. I don't need it on thing because I did not like playing it on a controller. To me, I needed it to.
That'd be for me.
For you, probably like either you're doing it on the iPad, at least you can touch them, or with a mouse on your Mac, probably is better. But for me, playing with a controller, like I see what they're doing. I'll wait for it on mobile. And I did. I bought it on Android. It was like $10, but I got a discount with Google Rewards or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, and they're supporting it. There's like more crossovers with other properties, which is cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's the perfect game not to pay for and just enjoy while it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
can, like, if you're a big poker player or really like card games, I could see paying for this and having it everywhere, or like,
Yeah.
being able, like, yeah. But I'm happy. For me, I'm happy I could try it out for free with Apple Arcade.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like you talked about, a demo or a free play on a service. Perfect situation.
Yep.
So for myself, I have played a game that was new on Game Pass called Eternal Strands. It's on Xbox Game Pass and PC. I don't know where else it is, but this game is kind of a mixed bag for me. I think a lot of people are really enjoying this game. It's very bright, colorful. It's a fantasy game where you are basically a person who has the ability to control the elements. You're given the abilities of basically, you start off with ice, then you can control like gravitational forces to pick up like elements in the environment, which is kind of cool, like almost like a gravity gun in Half-Life, or I'm trying to think of another game where you could pick up Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yep.
That game. Remember where you could pick things up? Same thing here. It's very colorful. Basically it's all about you trying to with your band of friends basically recapture the world and fight back this like weird mist that will kill people. So your band of merry men, you've got like a hawk person, you've got like an elf person, you've got a husband and wife duo, and they all have different abilities. Like one is a forger of like weapons, one is like can sell you gear and things like that. So you have a crew, and the melee it's basically an action RPG. So you get some of those things involved. You get power ups. You get more of these strands, which are your like elemental abilities, which is kind of cool. And it also leads into the bosses are like big climbable beasts, almost like a Shadow of Colossus or one of those games. So basically, you can climb on. You have stamina. You can climb anywhere in this game, like Breath of the Wild, which is kind of cool. But you have stamina, just like Breath of the Wild. Which so like when you're climbing like a beast to hit them, you have to hit their points and get enough away so you can like cause damage, and then you eventually either get thrown off. You can press Y to hold on, or you will run out of stamina. You'll get kicked off too. So that's really the premise of this game. It's just like you're going around doing these missions, fetch quests, come back to upgrade your gear. A lot of people will love this game. I think there's a lot of promise here, but a couple of things it did for me that I didn't love is the fact that it uses 3 different styles of narrative. It has cutscenes, which are like animated, which are really nice. I like those a lot. Very cool. Then it has basically real time with in-engine type of action as well that tells a little bit of a story. But then the majority of your discussions with your crew and your cast is all like static images with dialogue, which is fine.
Yep.
But for me, you don't see much emotion on their faces. It's a lot of great dialogue and great acting. And I'm like, this should at least been an engine, because it's not like that's more expensive, because you're doing, I mean, you're playing gameplay in action as well. Yeah. And I don't need to see but I don't know, it felt like it took me out of it. And there's a lot of dialogue, So for me, it took me out of it. And it's beautiful. Yeah. It just felt like it's like, pick a choice and double down on that, because you already paid for the voice acting. But when you take away their visual cues of emotion, to me, it just took me out of the game. It's like the old Zelda games where you'd like, oh, I'm thinking of that character, but I'm like, there's like 2 emotions that they showed, and I'm like, I think a game like this is punching beyond its weight class, which is I totally get. And I think there's a lot here. I think this game has a lot of promise. I think the action is pretty good, but I just did find like a lot of the battles with the lower level like wolves and things like that, just not very engaging. When I did get to the bosses, I'm like, those are very fun and very cool. But one of the other problems I had with this, Mark, is when you find a chest and you get like a I guess you'd call it like a recipe for like armor. And then you have to pick up all of your pieces of like rocks and steel and wool and leather. And you can't actually get the cool stuff from the chest. And you have to go back. And by the way, you don't have all the pieces to do it. It felt like a grind quest. And the other part is there's no fast travel. So I'm like spending half of my time just trying to get back to my crew, to get back to the person that's going to forge my armor or something like that. So for me, it felt like they could have like streamlined this in such a better way, especially after playing Dragon Age. And that was, I think, the biggest foul. Dragon Age, I think, did a great job with some of these things, obviously a much higher budget. But I think with this, I think it's worth playing. But for me, I bounced off pretty quick. I installed it. I'm like, I don't see myself spending the time traversing, looking how I get back. And actually, there's also something I hate. The map is okay, but the little I call it fairy dust that creates a trail on where you need to go. It's very inaccurate, and it didn't always work. So I'm like, where am I supposed to go? I'm going through a mountain. This doesn't seem effective. So
Gotcha.
I think this is a game that some people are going to love because it's very bright and cheery. The world is fun. I just thought there were some gaps in it for me to continue on.
All right. That makes sense.
So check out a review, watch some gameplay. You might like it. Yeah. So I needed that because we've been in kind of a crazy world. Need a little bit more brighter fantasy to deal with. But I did get back into Space Marine 2. Very cool, but very like edgelord. Like, ooh, I'm cool. There's like skulls hanging around. I'm a weird dude that is like got a sword with a chainsaw on it. It's a lot. But I enjoy the combat. It's very much fun. It's over the top. It feels like a 360 game in today's modern gaming parlance. I mean, I did enjoy that game. I've been playing also Cyberpunk, which I love a lot too. But I like a little balance. I like to play a little bit of both. And I've also been experimenting, Mark, on playing my PC on my LG big screen. So I got a long HDMI 2.1 cable. It's actually kind of cool, especially if you got like a wireless keyboard and a mouse. If you need to do anything within Windows, you can. With the Steam Big Picture mode, it's great. So I've been enjoying that too. It's kind of fun. It works great. And I know not everybody can do that because most PCs are not next to your big screen TV, but for me it was. Right. So really enjoying that.
That's great.
Other than that, Mark, I am getting an eye exam on Tuesday, so I'm this close to getting my new lens inserts for my Quest 3S, and I will be all in that device because I hate wearing glasses with VR. So that's what I'm doing next.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So with that, Mark, that is done for what we've been gaming, but now it's time for this ad.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high quality podcast just with the click of a browser button? Go to Zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Mark, it's time for 20 questions. We're not doing a deep topic this week. We're doing 20 questions. You came up with a really awesome idea for 20 questions. So tell people what 20 questions we'll be covering this week.
Yeah, we are gearing up for Super Bowl Sunday. And even if you're not a sports fan or a football fan, it's always fun to watch the trailers. And I know one that's dropping early. Actually, by the time you're listening to this podcast, it will have already dropped. Tomorrow morning, Tuesday, February 4th, we're getting Fantastic Four. I think Wednesday, we're getting Jurassic Park. So we're getting some fun franchise trailers. And I thought this would be a fun kind of like, I'm going to say tie-in or licensed IP game from a movie or show. It's most likely a movie, but you could, if you choose Batman the Animated Series, then we'll go from there. And I think that gives us a wide but narrow enough that it gives us a half a chance to get it.
Oh yeah, especially since we're going against each other. We have no shared help. It's the brain trust of Kerrigan versus Oxtra. So we'll see this go. Mark, do you want to have me guess first, or do you want to guess first?
I will guess first.
Okay, let us go. So basically, folks, if you haven't played 20 questions, this is basically 20 yes/no questions. If there is an opportunity where Mark asks something and I can't validate it with a yes/no, then I will ask him to restate his question. So with that, Mark, let the questions begin.
Is this game available? Oh, do I want to word it like that? Was this game initially released on the current generation of platforms? Meaning, currently, was it released, not available on, released on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, or Switch?
Oh. So released, not available.
Not specifically just available in like back catalogs or whatever on Xbox. Was it released in this generation?
No.
Okay. Is this game platform specific? Is it like tied to one specific platform?
Let me check. I don't know.
Two questions in, and I've already got you questions.
I know. I'm like
something incredibly obscure.
This is tough because I don't even know if it's currently. That's a good question. I mean, it's a very good question. Look really quick. Ooh. So, ask me your question again.
Is this platform specific? Available on only one platform?
No.
Okay. I really want to ask more questions for that. This is going to be some weird, wild cats, like the CATs for.
Oh God! From what Jim Lee, the Wildcats game from Image Comics. Yes.
No, that is exactly what this is.
Not at all. It's not that bizarre. It just happens to be one of those things. It's like, really? Okay. I just have
All right.
one question I have to look into really quick to
Yeah.
see what this is released on.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. I see it's so. Can I? So can you ask a question about where this is available again?
Like ask a third
Available
question
versus released. Yeah. So you basically said where it was released. So I'd say released. No, it's not multi-platform. Specifically, you said everyone or only on one. So
Is it? Yeah. So it's not only on one.
yes, not on one, not only on one is the best way to put it. Yes. Okay.
Is this available on one specific video game platform and PC?
Now,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, that's so. My second question: what was it when it was released? Was this a specific platform game? Okay, I'll count that
not
as my
specific
third.
platform. No. Yeah. This is. Yeah.
I'm not counting that as my third question. That was way too similar, and you had the same goddamn answer.
Okay.
I'm just giving that
Ask
to
a
myself.
different area of questions, Mark. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. Yeah, third question:
Yeah.
Yes. Is this a movie tying game? More specifically, in movies rather than
No.
TV. Not
No.
based on a movie.
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good stuff. Is this a comic book franchise?
Yes.
What the hell was the hesitation there?
I didn't hesitate at all. I said yes.
There's a weird pause. You're just trying to throw me off now. There's a weird pause. This is gonna be like
I think
X-Men.
you're quibbling.
This is
Mr.
going to be
Caravan.
X-Men Arcade. It's going to be released for the arcade, but now it's available. And then it was eventually released for PlayStation and Xbox and Android and iOS.
Do you have a question, Mr. Caravan? Do you have a question?
Yes. How many cactuses can you fit in your questions?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Was this originally released in the 90s?
I say yes.
Wait, I'd say yes.
Okay,
what kind of
let me
answer
look
is
up the
this?
specific date. Well, I'm saying yes. I mean, based on my recollections of the original release date,
Okay.
I would say yes, 90s. But I will.
Right.
Do you want me to give you a date? No, I won't give you that because that's cheating. Not doing that. Yes, 90s.
90s. Okay, thank you. Is this a TV tie-in?
No.
Okay.
You've asked 6 questions, I think.
Yep.
It's been a lot of parsing and clarification, so you might have gone off the rails a little bit.
Is this an arcade title?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is this a superhero game?
Yes.
Can you play as more than 2 superheroes in this game?
Can you clarify the question?
Well, for instance, Maximum Carnage, you could play as Spider-Man and Venom. but the X-Men arcade
Then
game,
yes, I would
you
say
can
yes.
play with
I would say yes.
several people, including Wolverine,
Yes.
Colossus,
Yes, I would say
Storm.
yes.
You can play with as more than 2 people.
I would say yes.
Okay. I hate this. I would say yes because it makes it sound like you're like sketchy as all
Look
get
too
out.
deep and don't look too deep into the abyss, Mark, which is my soul.
Okay. I think I know the answer, and I'm going to get a clarifying question because it wasn't released this gen. Can you still play this game on modern consoles that are not like my Ambernick retro emulator machine? Can you legally purchase this game on modern consoles?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Just remember, if you make a guess and it's wrong, the game ends. So you can always ask more questions. Yes.
That's why I'm asking so many.
10 left.
10 right now.
10 left.
Halfway
10
through,
left.
and I'm like just narrowing this down so I don't guess the wrong.
To sing Bon Jovi. Oh, we're halfway there.
Is this a fighting game?
It is a fighting game.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Is this... You're going to get me with the semantics on this one, man.
That's what you have to be very careful, Mark. You have to be very careful. Yeah. I'm so worried about my pick. When you quiz me, I feel like you're going to be very punishing. not a kind and gentle co-host. This is my guess.
Is this a crossover fighting game of one?
It is indeed
group. Yeah,
crossover fighting game. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like you're the genie when you're answering these. By the way, that's why I'm asking so
like
many
the monkey's paw.
questions.
It's like the monkey paw.
The monkeys.
You have to be very specific,
you're
or you
a
get
human
something
monkey
wrong.
Paw, because I'm asking these questions, and I'm like, is it this? And if you can find that one little thing that's like, yes, it's a fighting game, and the definition of a fighting game for me is like, you versus me, Marvel versus Capcom. And you're like, well, I meant fighting game is you fight all the computer players. Ha 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 ha. Monkey paw.
Is that a future merch item? Todd Oxtra, aka the monkey paw. Yes.
That's your new nickname. Yeah.
Draw me with monkey hands. Yeah. Great. Yeah. All right. Okay, Mark.
Yeah. Okay.
No dilly, no dally. As a
we're not dillying. We're not dallying. Okay. Is this the first in a potential series of games, or is this a sequel?
Oof, that's a tough one.
For instance, I'm just gonna let you off the hook with this one. If this is like Marvel versus Capcom 3, which came out in like 2011 or something, yeah, like that. That would be a series of games. You don't have to say like this was
got it. Okay,
not the first X-Men game ever released. Like, you know what I mean? Like it has to be
one of many in the same series. I would say no to that question. Not many of the same title.
Okay. So there
is that clear?
Okay, so the question was, is this the first one in of its kind, I suppose, or like the first one in a series, or if it's a one-off and it's not a series at all, you can still answer yes to this question. So
I would say it is. There was never a sequel to this game.
Okay. All right.
Does that help?
Yeah. kind of. It kills where I thought this was going.
Okay.
Never a sequel. Okay. All right.
And don't kill me though
sure.
at the end of this game. Maybe like Oxtra, you.
I'm
Yes.
gonna.
Okay.
I am.
You got
definitely going
7 questions left.
Yep.
I'm gonna start playing the Sonic dying of he's gonna run out of breath music for you, Mark.
Yeah. I was just playing Sonic. I think I said last episode I was playing Sonic on the Amberneck.
I'm gonna die. That's
very stressful.
Yeah, very stressful. Yes.
Is this a Marvel property?
Yes.
Okay. What the fudge kind of fighting game never got a sequel and is a crossover? And it's like Marvel versus Capcom got crossovers. So many. Do I even know this game? If you say no right now, I'm going to like.
Oh, you know this game, Mark. You know this game.
Okay. It's in the 90s. It was released in the 90s. It is not a TV or movie specific thing. It's an arcade game that's still available right now, but is not. It's a fighting game, a Marvel fighting game. Oh man, this is insane.
I will say this one is a little bit tricky, but it's not out of the norm. It's not a one that you would have never heard of.
Okay.
Wow,
Right.
I'm being very kind.
You are being very kind, and I think I know where this is going. I think you're being tricky, and I think you're being tricky for a very specific reason.
Oh, I'm not being tricky. Oh,
yeah.
would I ever be tricky, Mark? Come on, you know me.
Yeah,
Honest
never,
Todd.
Never at all. Okay. All right.
Six questions.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight out. Did this game have Capcom characters?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Did that help? You don't look very pleased.
Yeah, no, that actually did very much help because I think I
Okay.
know how you're being tricky. Because I
Oh,
think,
okay.
I'm just gonna guess. I think.
Wait, you're gonna guess? You're not gonna clarify? Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I'm just gonna go. I could ask one more clarifying question, and that is, did this game get spiritual successors?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I got this.
Okay.
I think I'm okay if I'm wrong on this one. I think this is X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Yes, you got it.
You
got it.
You tricky son of a gun.
This was never on the original Xbox, but the collection that just came out came to Xbox on Xbox One. So that's I'm like, ooh, what is it? Because it is standalone. There was X-Men Children of the Atom, but there was no other X-Men versus Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
It just turned into Marvel versus Capcom. I believe that was the next game after that.
Yep.
So it was weird. Yeah, because we got that collection, folks. Buy that collection. It's amazing because it's got all of the Marvel Capcom titles. So
yeah.
Good job, Mark.
Yeah.
You are the winner. I think it was fair, right? I tried to clarify.
I think you were just tricky enough to throw me off a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, the spiritual successors was
Okay.
like, I'm locked in, and I could have asked,
Yeah,
like,
that was
was this
fair.
an X-Men game?
That's a good way to put that. Yeah.
You know, um,
Yeah.
so I had a few more, but I felt like taking the risk because I could have, is this an X-Men game? Is this a Marvel?
No.
Because I think there was a Marvel versus Capcom or Marvel versus Street Fighter as well.
There, I don't think there was. I think there was a X-Men Children of the Atom. I think there was an X-Men versus Street Fighter, and then it just went full on Marvel versus Capcom.
Straight up. Okay.
But there was other games that were made. Yeah, so I would say buy that collection, folks, because it is a great look back at Marvel and Capcom and all their fighting games. So,
yeah.
Okay, Mark, you ready for me? You changing your mind?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a game that was released on consoles in the Switch, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5 era?
No.
Okay. Is this game on a cartridge?
Yep.
Yes, on a cartridge. Okay. Was this game released in the 90s?
Yes.
At least in the 90s. Okay. Okay. Was this made by a third-party developer?
Like not. It wasn't like Nintendo,
not
Sega?
Nintendo, not Sega. Yeah, basically a company like Capcom or somebody putting a title on their platform.
Yes. It was.
Okay.
It was made by a third party.
Okay. Is this a Japanese developer / publisher?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Was this an exclusive game to a system?
No.
Not exclusive. So, but okay. Were there different versions of this game on each system by the same developer?
No. I don't think so.
So it's not like the Genesis Aladdin, right? Like the Genesis Aladdin versus the Nintendo Aladdin.
No, it was
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, not.
We're not parsing that. We're not like, oh, it was this version versus that version. Okay, yeah. Some of those licensed games are just weird. Okay, great. Was this released on the Super Nintendo?
Nope.
Oh, the Genesis?
Is that your next question?
That was my next question, yes.
Okay, yes, Genesis.
Released in Genesis, third-party licensed game. Okay, is this based on a movie? Very quiet.
No. Well, no. Okay. Well,
not on a movie. Okay.
No, it was not based on a movie. This game was not based on a movie.
So a TV show or cartoon?
It was not based on a TV show.
Okay. Not a TV show or a cartoon. Okay. Not based on a movie either? Was it based on a comic book property?
Yeah.
Okay. Comic book. Genesis. Oh, God. Was this based on a Marvel license?
It was.
Oh, God. I'm feeling this. Was there a certain character named Carnage involved in this game?
There was not.
Oh, okay. Because you mentioned Maximum Carnage. I'm like, oh, you can drop that there and bring it back? Okay. Okay. But Marvel, but not Carnage. Okay.
Maximum Carnage was a Super Nintendo game, just to clarify that.
Okay. Not a Genesis game, though?
It was both.
Okay.
But this one was.
Oh, was. Okay. Okay, so a Marvel franchise on the Genesis. Were mutants involved in this game?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh,
I'm gonna say no. With the caveat that it may have featured a mutant as an enemy or something that I'm not like fully aware
okay.
of. You know what I mean? Like
Sure,
it's
sure.
like
No, but like not like your random mutants that you would think of. Okay,
yeah, no,
I get it.
no,
Oh boy. Was this based on characters from the Fantastic Four?
it was not.
No. How about the Hulk?
Nope.
Oh God, what else is there? I mean,
how many questions you up to?
I'm
right now?
trying. I don't know. Wait. That's not my job to count my questions. I put them in the chat mark, so when I do yours, that's what I do. So
Okay, so
I think I'm down to like. I think I've only asked one question, by the way.
Oh yes, sure.
Yes, only one question. Is this character been an Avenger? What? Eric was on Genesis game. Not an X-Men. Not an Avenger. Oh my God.
Okay, well,
is this
hold on, like
okay? Let me ask.
okay,
You're
not
suffering
like a-
somebody like.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Is this character from the Spider-Man universe of characters?
No, like insofar as like
No.
a regular crossover kind of like thing. Like, is he like would he be in the Sony verse kind of thing? Like how? Because like we're talking about comic book characters, so like a Marvel comic book character has met other Marvel comic book characters. I could say yes.
Oh
to
my
this
God! I'm just no. But the funny part is, I'm just trying to think of any other characters that are not X-Men, not Avengers, not Spider-Man. I'm like, who's left? And you said not Hulk, so I'm like, who is left in the Marvel pantheon?
Can I say like? I mean, who hasn't been an Avenger though? So I guess I could be another. I could be a dick and say that. And
who
like,
hasn't been an Avenger? Oh,
no,
God.
but like no. So like I can say yes. Yeah. I could say yes that this character has been an Avenger, but like that's kind of a dick answer because in Marvel, like
that's
who
weird.
hasn't been an Avenger? You know what I mean? Like you're either an X-Man or you're an Avenger kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I could go with that.
Yeah. No.
okay.
Okay. Is this a sci-fi / galactic Marvel character?
I'm gonna say no to this, even though the answer could technically also be yes. But for the most part, as he is known, as they are known to most people, the answer is no. You're gonna kill me when you find this answer.
Oh no! So this is not. God, well, I'm just trying to think. Like everybody's been an Avenger. Hulk has been an Avenger. X-Men. I'm just trying to think who else is out there. I mean, I don't think Howard the Duck had a video game. I was thinking of Silver Surfer. He had a horrible Nintendo game.
I don't know. I've lost count. But
is it? Sure. Okay, great. Okay. Is this character been a part of the MCU?
Yes.
Deep. Oh, okay. The MCU. Yeah. Jeez, oh, Pete. Oh no. What could be there? Is this character part of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
No, not part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Holy crap.
Well, I mean,
what?
No. Fun line of questioning, though.
I know. Oh no, we're getting parsing. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Is this character a white male?
Yep.
White male.
17.
17. Oh boy. Okay. Has this Holy cow. Is this character from Asgard?
From what was it?
Asgard?
Oh, no.
Thor?
No.
No, not at all.
Decidedly not.
Jeez, Pete. Who was a Marvel? Oh my God, Mark, I'm gonna kill you because I'm trying to think of I just need to look at my shelf, maybe there's somebody over there that would make me think of that. Oh my God. Is this a character? Is this character a mutant?
You've already asked that.
Did I? Okay, not an X-Men. Okay, great. Is this character?
The answer was no. I will remind you that no.
Okay, does this character have special abilities that are not part of being a human?
No.
Oh God. I think I have a answer, but I'm like, I don't know how it fits in. I don't know the name of this game. I'm gonna screw this up. I'm not gonna win.
Is that your 20 questions? I think that was 20. I'll give you that. Was 19.
Are we at how many is that? Is that it? Okay.
I think that was it. I'll give you one more if you need one.
Okay, one more.
Because I kind of lost track. So we're in the vicinity of 20.
Sure. Yeah, we're close. I mean, I'm running out of ideas. Is the character Stan Lee? I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. I'm running out of characters that could be in a game. What was left? Okay, Mark, I give up. What is the answer?
Straight up give up?
Yeah.
The Punisher, 1993. Genesis and arcade.
Oh my god! The Punisher. I forgot about that.
The Punisher has technically been an Avenger. He's also taken on the Ghost Rider and done some cosmic stuff.
Oh yeah.
So some of those answers, like I said, I could technically say yes. He's crossed over with Spider-Man, Daredevil, all that kind of stuff. He's crossed over with everyone, so you can say is he part of the Spider-Man first? Not in the movies, but in the comics, he's been.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in New York.
Yeah.
It's so funny you asked if he is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the second player in this is actually played as Nick Fury.
Oh God! Oh my God!
So
I love that. Was it like a beat 'em up?
Yeah. Is he associated with S.H.I.E.L.D.? And I'm like, no, but in this game, weirdly, yes.
Oh my God!
But not usually.
That's great.
Your main villain in this one was Kingpin, so you're not even fighting a mutant or a superpowered ability or anything like that.
No.
There's combos and stuff that you can do as two unpowered people, both Punisher and Nick Fury.
And that wasn't an arcade game. It was just on console.
No, that was arcade and console. It was arcade first.
Oh, it was
ported to Genesis with slightly dumbed down graphics, but it was a port.
That's the game that's on the Capcom Fighting Collection, the Marvel Fighting Capcom. That. Oh my God! I should have figured that out.
And I chose it because you said I was punishing. I did choose that. Literally after you said it, I did change my answer. I was going with something else earlier on, and you said something about
brilliant
punishing.
Beast.
And I took that.
From the north.
Yeah. I am very happy with how that worked out. The Genesis version wasn't until 1995. The 1993 was the arcade release. But again, like you said, and that's why I hesitated on the two different versions.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because the Genesis was, again, slightly downgraded graphics, sound, lesser variety of enemies, smaller number of objects on screen. Breakable things couldn't be breakable on the Genesis hardware. But for the most part, this was the same game, the same layout, not vastly changed. It wasn't two completely separate games. It was dumbing it down for the Genesis hardware to make it run, but it was still the same kind of thing, right? So I think that kind of counted mostly, I think, as the same kind of game, right? So
great pick, Mark. I actually have the Xbox Punisher game, which is highly adult, highly gross, but it's a very fun game. I mean, you just love that, and updated versus a 16-bit arcade basher, and love this. We haven't done this in a long time.
That was a good one.
I'm glad we could do this, Mark.
That was fun.
Yes, that was very good. Very good. You win, I lose, but we all had fun along the way.
Absolutely.
So with that, Mark, tell people where they can find you around the web.
You can find me everywhere, mostly like Instagram. I'm trying to be a little bit more active and check Blue Sky more and more. That's about it. I was gonna say TikTok, but I don't like post on TikTok very much. I just kind of like browse it every once in a while. And mostly hanging out in our Discord group. So if you want to find me there, it's Canardian_Jedi everywhere, except Blue Sky, which is a dash instead of an underscore.
Perfect. You can follow me at Todd Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite on the Blue Skies, at T Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite on the threads. Check out our Discord, check out our YouTube channel, check out our webpage, check out our Patreon. With that, Mark, it's been so much fun. We don't always get to do an episode of just the two of us. We get to be knuckleheads, and I love that to pieces. We obviously love having guests, so if you want to be on our show, let us know. We would love to have new people talking about the video games and the thing they love with the controller and the screen. So, Mark, with that, as always, it's always better to game together.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.